This family, including American Caitlan Coleman, was finally freed from their Taliban-linked captors after being held hostage in Pakistan for 5 years. Do you know how many times Trump tweeted about their plight before their release? 0. How about retired FBI agent Robert Levinson, who the FBI refers to as, quote, the longest held hostage in American history? He served the US for 33 years and is being held by Iran along with 3 other Americans. Guess how many times Trump has tweeted demanding his release? Or any of the 20 or so Americans being held around the world? That's right, 0. So when the president, vice president, and secretary of state all tweet or make public statements about one particular person being held in Turkey, well, that person must be an extraordinary case, right? That singular individual is Pastor Andrew Brunson. He is currently under house arrest in Turkey for serious allegations stemming from his links to the FETÖ and PKK terrorist organizations. He's also a prominent Christian evangelical pastor, and that may be the most important fact of this story. And here's why. Evangelicals are a huge part of US President Donald Trump's base, and the pastors of this faith, often through televised services from megachurches, have congregants numbering in the tens of millions. Now, all of this is important to understand because it helps to explain why the top levels of the US government are so intent on bringing this one man home. These pastors hold a huge sway over US policies and politics through their direct access to the hearts and minds of nearly a quarter of all Americans who identify as evangelical Christians. That's a lot of people. Now, their influence isn't as powerful as it was during George W. Bush's presidency, where the, quote, moral majority was in its prime, but they still enjoy a lot of sway. And this case is a big one for the pastors, and so it's a big one for their congregation. And that's tens of millions of potential American voters, and, well, you get the picture. Pastor Brunson is facing serious charges in Turkey, with actual evidence against him. And he's not being held in some prison work camp by some hostile regime. He's on house arrest. But still, his release without a trial is a priority for this American administration. Now, you have to decide, is this about justice or is it about votes come this November's election?